be psycho with me, we can be psycho together on Psycho Saturday. Going from YouTube to 100K, this one simple business trick. Is that sarcasm? Is that stand-up comedy? Is this going to be a flagship video that you're never going to forget because it's Psycho Saturday? Let's start. What do most people do on Saturday? They relax from the job that was stressful, or they're working their second job and or thinking about a side hustle or moonlighting. Expanding on a prior as a jobpreneur. Expanding on a prior is the one skill that if you had honed would improve your career. Expanding on a prior is the opposite of human tendency when your phone's not so smart. Your phone's not so smart, it's really just breaking your brain. Tendency of humans is to go from phone to entertaining smartphone video with always something new, always something new. This is why I am the vagina whisperer, because I discipline women to not go new thing to new thing, because when your brain is addicted to dopamine, it's clear via symptoms. Psycho Saturday is the, dare I say, cure. I do dare say that because we're going to get better while we playfully hang out on Psycho Saturday. So, productive thing that we can do together is temporarily discipline our brains by being in the present by this one business skill that gets us to an amazing level, which is expanding on a prior. Do comedians also use expansion on a prior? Oh, yeah, via callbacks. And what callbacks then have is an ability to not say cliche incest jokes like, oops, I got my booty call pregnant. Because that's funny, yeah, but it's not as funny as, oh my God, the Oriental Cowboy is psycho on Saturdays. It's both hilarious and useful because I think I just made 100K by coming up with a money baby. Oops, I watched a Larry Chang Chinese Cowboy Oriental ranch hand video and became pregnant with 100K. Am I weaving in the comments to direct back to Psycho Saturday while referencing 100K? Yes, via this one business skill, which is what? Expanding on a prior. See, before this video was another video on the one business skill that you need to make 100K. It turns out that's not clickbait, which is why it seems so psycho on a Saturday. Is this stuff that they don't teach you at Y Combinator? No, it is actually exactly what they teach you, they being VCs, us being the Y Combinator rejects, expanding on a prior by citing a previous essay that some person wrote. Are we going to go to bars tonight in order to pick up women with a book? Heterosexual networking, yes, by memorizing 2 page numbers. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Let's try to get all on the same page. NFL playbook pun intended. At the basis for why we spend time together is so that way we can self-improve, or we want a little bit of entertainment, or we don't have one Chinese friend who's also a cowboy. Now we're friends, sort of. We'd be more friends if you went from one video to another video and then got better, which is what we're talking about, which is expanding on a prior. When you can go from one video to another video and then get better between videos, now you're seemingly psycho on subsequent Saturdays, because from Saturday to Saturday, you're just going to become more masculine, more stronger, and more specific with your goals. Let's bullet point some of these skills of not clickbait. This one business skill gets you to 100K. And if you think 100K is too much money or not enough money, realize that in the United States of America, females won't make 100K total before they turn 30 on average. How sad is that? And if you're watching this video from India, Pakistan, 5 generations of your family have not been able to make $9,000 total. Total. Is that offensive? No, we can solve it. I'm just telling you the problem, and it's funny because the most negative people here on YouTube have 5 generations at 9K. Let's bullet point and become awesome, because it's Psycho Saturday and we want to have a good time. Let's field goal. Number 1, you see these videos and they don't have a ton of views, and you can benefit from the fact that this content isn't exactly perfectly edited and curated, because this one business hack can launch you into becoming profitable per YouTube video that you touch. Am I talking about remixing? Yes. Is this the business skill that I'm referencing also? Yes. Expand on a prior. If you're just jumping in right now, you've missed everything and nothing. Focus. We are able to take this turd production quality and benefit by doing a thumbnail. Notice how some of my videos aren't perfectly remastered and re-edited, where I edit out my hesitations, and it's a different form of video. You benefit from doing 2 thumbnails. You can even remix somebody else's video, because remember, what we're focusing on is expanding on a prior. When you edit, you have to watch a video 2 or 3 times, and you actually end up knowing the director's content better than the director does, because you're the editor, you're the auditor. This is why this one business skill gets you to 100K, not an exaggeration. It's a specific business skill. On a piece of paper, expand on a prior. If you're able to expand on a prior 5 times in 1 week, you will notice yourself begin to get 1% better. I almost want to say doubling, because the 1% solution is later on exponential. Expanding on a prior, next point. Being able to PQRST forward. Preview, question, read, summarize, test. And if this is the umpteenth time that you've heard of PQRST, or the first time you've heard of PQRST, now you can DJ that energy into 100 units of money. Preview, question, read, summarize, test. What you're doing there is you're getting away from what your human competition's doing in this game of life. Because right now, if you've got agency, meaning some accountability and a goal, this is absolutely the best time to be alive. Look at this. This is raw, unfiltered, that if you slap the thumbnail to a 15-second clip, you can literally go viral to hundreds of views with dozens of likes, surpassing me with my single digit number of views and my no likes. Am I asking you to subscribe and like? No, I'm telling you that you can be subscribed to, you can be liked, because what then happens is you get off of zero. And how Psycho Saturday am I, with this much excitement, helping you go from 0 to 2? Mapping. Why are nerds that are dudes who play Dungeons and Dragons almost always making obscene amounts of money per year? Obscene amounts of money. Where people are like, oh, it's the patriarchy. It's not daddy in the patriarchy via the 10 levels of daddy in OMG, that video. Put a pin in that because that's hilarious. 10 levels of daddy. It's mapping what the dungeon master is doing to us as the players. So the dungeon master has a map. We don't know what that map is. Does this also sound like the continuum of being able to program this life with seeing what the matrix is, by also seeing what is this world? With, are we able to experience Christmas anytime we want? Are we ready for Valentine's Day? Front running it. Are we able to program our reality via expanding on a prior by seeing that there is prior coding around us? Let's fundamentally meet. Hi, I'm Larry Chang. It's good to meet you. With what are we doing on Saturday for 15 minutes that can change and significantly impact the rest of our lives? It is this. We take an existing book that we have, maybe we've read a little bit of it, maybe we haven't read any of it, and we bring that book to a bar and we sell that book to people. We don't sell the whole book, we only sell 2 pages of the book. Now, you own that book already, so you've spent $0. In fact, go to your parents' bookshelf and find one business book, and then text, direct message on Instagram, Larry_Chang, or text my phone number, the book that you have, and then we'll study buddy that book at a bar while women come up to meet us. Is this going to take some skill of memorization? The easiest skill, I'll teach it to you right now. Memorize or write down 5 words. Tai, Noah, Ma, Rai, Law. Tai, Noah, Rai, Ma, Law. And so what we're doing is we're associating those 5 words with 5 new things, so that way we can seem like we have a really good memory. In these videos where you think I'm working off of a script, I'm actually just going point to point from points that I previously memorized. And so Psycho Saturdays, welcome to this new area, is where we can have the ability for 60 minutes at a bar or nightclub to be not just unique, cowboy hat not required, fun in meeting new people. Because when you have this level of preparation in preview, question, read, summarize, test for a nightclub, because who does book club in a nightclub? Who does that? We do that because we want to code our own reality. Do you remember before when I was talking about Dungeon Master and Dungeons and Dragons? When you see the world for what it is, which is a game, and if we map our own treasure map literally on a physical surface of our wall. Here's an example of it. That is a treasure map. That is a piece of trash that I found at the Embassy Suites in 2022. And look at the treasure map of items, because every item is a piece of treasure. And this treasure map is ever evolving. And this is me actually already having arrived at my goal. That's my FALO, fuck around and Larry out. A wall, follow. Psycho Saturdays, being able to expand on a prior using maps. So we're mapping our way towards our goal. Dare I say, stepping towards a new destiny? Yes. Am I quoting a Joe Dispenza book and showing off? I'm not showing off to you. I am showing you that you don't have to joke about your sister getting pregnant, because I'm impregnating your brain right now with money. I'm literally filling up your brain right now with money from your joke comments that weave directly into my intention for this video, which is expanding on a prior, what we can do to run our brain and affect our world in a positive way, because right now is the best, absolute best time that has ever been on the history of the planet if we've got agency, a little bit of responsibility, a little bit of self-starting. And that's what Psycho Saturdays encapsulates for us. What questions do you guys have? I see the room totally starting to fill up. What questions do you guys have when it comes to a prior video that you've watched, or a question that executes this? Expand on a prior. While you're thinking of questions, the next class you go to, the next keynote you go to, the next work conference you go to, sit in the front row and audience participate. How? By asking, can you repeat that? To pay attention and expand on a prior, and to prove to other people that you're completely paying attention. Let's bullet point these from the top, because quite frankly, this is amazing shiitake. This being expansion on a prior, this one business skill helps us get to 100K in total earnings before we turn 30. Let's bullet point these. One, just add a thumbnail. You can recut, remix my video, add a thumbnail, and get way more views, because look at how my videos don't have a thumbnail. They're just sitting out there naked, waiting for you to augment and get credit for discovery, because that's the YouTube algorithm. Next business skill, being business and detail minded, because everyone else is going ADD, video to video. Oh, I'm neurodivergent. Oh, I can't pay attention. You're just not paying attention, which is why people lack focus. When you're detail minded, tonight, for example, at book club, women will be throwing putty and I'll be documenting it on my YouTube. PQRST, the first rep, the repetition of expanding on a prior, where the first 100K you make is going to be incredibly hard, but the next and sequential 100Ks end up being incredibly easy. Getting to your first chunk is hard. Look at me in my videos. It's been less than 100 subscribers for how long? And now it's asymptotically rising like a rocket ship up, which is why you're getting recommended these videos. You can benefit from discovery. You can benefit from this friendship. You can absolutely financially get better with connecting here. Why and how? Next bullet point, which is mapping. Together, we can map one video to a next video. In between is how you got better via a treasure map. Am I talking about Shakti Gawain's creative visualization, page number 67? Yes, that's where I got it from. Think about if this were a conversation. You'd be like, wow, I can't believe you pulled that out of your butt in order to help me, which is exactly pulling stuff out of your butt with pen to paper. Because when you're mapping, you're taking a little piece of paper and you're blowing it up into a slightly larger piece of paper. So that's a little piece of paper. And then it became a bigger piece of paper, which is here. And this bigger piece of paper ends up being a ginormously huge win because what happens? Because Arthur C. Rock Center for Corporate Governance paste copied my hashtag CPUCC24. And so now I have a guaranteed win. Why? Because I took notes and then I expanded on a prior. When you gain wins on your treasure map, the confidence that you feel is going to be this level of confidence where you're like, why is the Chinese guy so confident? Like, it's something I haven't seen before. The reason I'm confident is because this is another rep. This is another repetition of winning using $0 via the remix button, which is right actually underneath my chin. It's got a little washing machine logo if this is now cut into a short. So you remix and then you pick. This is your map, mapping it out for you. The remix button is underneath my chin, and then you pick collab or green screen, and then you add thumbnail, because this video is currently thumbnailless. It's not screaming into the void. It's talking specifically to you. And then you get 15 seconds of it. Now you get credit for curation and discovery. Did I just turn you into a Hollywood producer? Yes, but without the casting couch of creepiness. So now you're editing and getting off of 0. What happens when you get to 8 videos? You're going to have spent less than 1 hour doing 8 videos. What do the first 12 minutes look like? This is what they look like. For 6 minutes even. This is what the first 6 minutes look like. And by the way, thankfulness is winning. This is what the first 6 minutes look like. Remix and then pick green screen. You can do collab some other time, but initially we'll do green screen. Now pick 15 seconds to 12 seconds that summarizes a video. How many YouTube videos have you watched? Kind of a lot, right? You go from YouTube video to YouTube video hoping for some magical thing, and then you clicked over here and you're like, ooh, this is something different. You take the 15 seconds via the remix, and then we edit and distribute one 15-second summary because you've watched how many hours of YouTube. So you take the compression of all the YouTube hours that you've watched and you think to yourself, what videos do I remember that stuck in my brain? You don't need to have taken any action on those videos, but you initially just need to ask yourself the question, if I were to rewatch any video, which video would it be? Which video would it be? And then when you answer that question, now you are, in essence, pulling this out of your butt, because now that's your notebook for the world to see. Currently, if you're sitting at 0 videos, yet you've watched hundreds of hours of videos, you are a non-playing participant, a non-player character, because you're at 0 videos. You can laugh at the Chinese cowboy who's got 16 views or maximum 16,000 views and say, oh, look at him, he's not very popular. Or you can say, this is why he's not popular, because he's literally trying to get me to leave the number 0. Because the number 0, it's incredibly powerful and it pulls people towards 0 like crabs in a pot. Your friends are going to make fun of you because you're doing things that are hard, which is why you're watching a self-improvement video for Psycho Saturdays. Congratulate yourself for being here. Let's pick up the free money that I'm putting down via this one business skill that gets you to 100K, which is expanding on a prior, mapping, expanding on a prior, going from 0 to 2 videos, going from YouTube watcher to YouTube video creator via this 2-minute hack, which is finding the remix button. It's literally underneath my chin. And then you pick one of those 2 things, which is collab or green screen. When you recut my video, I will embed your recut into my library. And what this does is this gets you and your brain filled with monetary energy. Is this mimetic desire? Yes. Do you stay at 0 because you're from 5 generations of people that have made $9,000 total? Maybe. Is that unpopular to say? No, it's incredibly popular to say, because that's the scoreboard. That's all money is a scoreboard. Is the game of money fair? No, it's not fair at all, because you get this video now, which is a compilation of things that I wish that I had because I didn't have YouTube. I only had a library card. But guess what? I used my library card, I took a lot of notes, and then I kicked a lot of ass. And is this a library card functionality? No. This that we're doing is actually an advanced bibliography. It's not a library card. This is like a fire hose of a bibliography coming at you. Oh, that Chinese cowboy, he's so random. He's so random. Guess what? It's specific in a way that you have not been able to assemble into your own specific reality right now. What are we doing? We are hacking your money, because you could make jokes about getting your sister pregnant in the YouTube comments. But guess what? Your bank account got monetarily pregnant because I'm putting in 15 bucks via being profitable on your first video that takes less than 8 minutes to do. How? I'm glad you asked. You hit the remix button, you find collab, and then you find either collab or green screen. Then you pick out a 12-second to 15-second clip. Congratulations, you are now off of 0. What you're doing unknowingly is you're engineering up a tidal wave of momentum, perpetual promotion machining your way forward. You're using things that exist. And speaking of Psycho Saturday, using things that already exist, take 2 books that are used on Amazon and bring them to a expensive restaurant or bar. Two books that are the same. Here's an example. These two books used cost less than $5. They're like a buck or two per book. Jeff Slutsky, How to Get Clients. You sit at the restaurant. In fact, I'm going to do this tonight before book club. So I'm doing 6 sequential book clubs. Let's go. Paste copy the schedule because you can win by having women literally throw vagina at you. This is the schedule. 5:25 p.m. to 7:35 p.m. Book club one-on-ones. By one-on-one, it's really one-on-two. Am I describing a sexual five-way? No, it's a book club four-way when 3 women come up to you and make fun of you by saying, why do you have 2 books? Did you write one of them? Oh, are you a book nerd? Oh, do you play Dungeons and Dragons? Oh, I'm playing money right now and you can't have any. I'm thirsty. Buy me a beer. 7:40 is book club venue number 2. Book club venue number 2 as per this schedule, which you can feel free to paste copy. What are we doing? We're using books to signify that we can read. And how sexy is that? It turns out it's so sexy that women literally will be throwing themselves at me while I do another YouTube video where people are like, oh my God, this actually works. Why would it not work? Oh, because you don't get 27.3K views per whatever, because it's only popular. Let me ask you this. Of the videos that got 2.4 million views, what have you done with it? What have you done with it? Did it just make you think you're doing something educational before you did something that was sports betting or porn or some other broken brain mental activity? Because your brain's broken. Can we make our brain slightly more healthy doing this? Are we getting our sister pregnant with jokes that I've read a million times? Am I getting your bank account pregnant with $600? Yes, because your bank account will initially get $50. This is how. We're going to sell Jeff Slutsky's book tonight for $50. A book that we bought for less than $10. We're going to benefit by selling it first and then buying it. We're going to sell specific page numbers that have paged content, page 65, page 37, 4 steps to the epiphany. Can you sell 273 pages right now? No, you cannot. Can you sell 1 page? Oh yeah. You can even do a book report via YouTube on 1 page or 1 snippet. If this is a bibliography, you can do a found in Larry Chang translation, where that's expanding on a prior, that's taking paper notes, that's memorization, that's the Harry Lorraine technique of Tai, Noah, Ma, Rai, Law, where we're able to memorize and associate. Moonwalking with Einstein, not being neurodivergent or some other word that is an excuse for being low socioeconomic and low sexual market value. Book location venue number 2 starts at 8:55. Book club at 11:35 is the amazing version of book club, because that's the magical conversion of Psycho Saturday bookended. PQRST pun intended. Bookended. Expand on a prior so that way we can make our first 100K total not accidental. Engineering our serendipity by expanding on a prior. Mapping using Treasure Map treasure mapping is chapter 2. It's also in creative visualization by Shakti Gawain on page 67. Creative visualization, Shakti Gawain, treasure mapping. This is a treasure map told to you. Words, syntax, gestalt tend to disappear, whereas this can be mapped out if you take paper notes with pen to paper using your third brain. Your brain is your brain. Your stomach is your next brain. Don't you have a really good gut feel for how much better you're going to be? Your third brain is your butt, pulling your notebook out of your ass. Your fourth brain is your penis. You want to be thinking with your second head, and you want to be thinking with vagina chemicals as well, because who's the vagina whisperer? Me. Not because I'm a pussy magnet, but because vagina whispering is realizing that our vaginas are pushing out chemical that affect our brain. Huckle Entrepreneurship Club, it's going to be a fun night tonight.